Welcome back to the Change Agent Leadership Podcast. Today, we're talking about a topic that affects so many leaders, managers, and professionals, and that's burnout. But specifically, we're going to talk about how to avoid burnout before it derails your energy, your mindset, and your impact in your job and in your life. So, what is burnout and why does it even matter? Well, let's start here. Burnout is real, and it doesn't just happen to weak or unmotivated people. It happens to high performers, people like you, people like me, who care deeply, lead others, and show up every day wanting to make a difference. I know people many times throw out the phrase, I'm burning out or I've burned out. And while that may be true in that moment, burnout is not a 1 day or a 1 week event. It builds up over time, and because of that, it can sneak up on us and catch us off guard. According to the World Health Organization, the definition of burnout for them is a syndrome resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. And it shows up in three key ways. One, exhaustion. And that can be physical and emotional depletion. Two, cynicism or detachment, feeling mentally distant from people and from work, or ineffectiveness, a reduction in your sense of accomplishment or productivity. Step number three is lead yourself to change. As leaders, we often show compassion to others, but tend to forget to extend it to ourselves. So start building a simple self-compassion habit into your daily routine. What does that look like? Well, it's based on those four areas that we rated and that we're reviewing weekly. So those four areas: mental energy, emotional presence, physical well-being, and sense of purpose. That's our core for all of this. Those four areas we want to really focus on. And then you're going to create some simple ideas to get you started in growing in those areas. It's not going to happen by itself. So this is simple intentionality. So for example, we're going to list them out to ways to build self-compassion habits into your daily routine. So mental energy, I'm going to give you some simple ideas, ones I've done and other people have. You can make your own list, but I want to give you a start. Otherwise, I don't want you to start from zero. Mental energy, I'll give you two. One is schedule a 15-minute quiet break after each day. No screen time, no input, just 15 minutes to yourself. Number two, practice a short mindfulness or breathing exercise throughout the day. Just a way to get mental energy. Do something to give yourself mental energy. You may want to just research that. Number two, emotional presence. How can you do that? Well, one way is use a 5-minute journaling prompt at the end of the day, like, what do I need today? So do it at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day for the next day, and just ask the question, what do I need today? Two, reframe mistakes as learning opportunities, not as complete failures. And I'd encourage you to speak to yourself with kindness as you would to a friend. So yeah, admit you've made a mistake, but it's not a reason to spiral down. It's a way to admit the mistake and ask, well, what did I learn from this and how can I grow? That's how you would coach a friend. So approach it from that perspective. When we're approaching burnout, we don't tend to think clearly. So that's why we're doing that. Three is physical well-being. This is just simple, practical steps. Go for a 10-minute walk in the midday. It really does break up the day and it does help you process better. Two, stretch between meetings. Many of us have back-to-back meetings, literally just one meeting to the other. Don't do that. Give yourself a time, either end the meeting early or give a 10 to 15 minute gap between meetings and use some of that to just stretch and walk around. Your body will thank you and your mind will wake up. And another one, just stay hydrated, and 7+ hours of sleep is ideal. I know that may not be realistic, but that is ideal. And then the last one, sense of purpose. And this is really just celebrate one win from the day, big or small. It's a mind thing, right? We want to have purpose. If we don't celebrate, then how would we know what we're doing is bringing us joy? And then another one is to reflect on how your work has helped someone or how it's made a difference. Granted, you may not have a boss that's telling you good job, but you are making a difference, and writing those things down help. Remember, progress over perfection. Self-kindness fuels intentionality and sustainability. So be kind to yourself. Burnout often grows in the absence of compassion for ourselves and for others. So that leads us to number four, create a burnout prevention plan. Hope is not a strategy. You need a proactive plan to grow forward. And so one key point here is resilience is built through intentional systems. I mean, we know this in leadership, systems matter, it actually matters in your life as well and building resilience. So break your plan down into short term and long term actions. So I'm going to give you some short term things to do, some wins this month. Key here, don't feel guilty as you're doing it. I know as I'm going to read these, some of you are going to think, I can never do that. I would feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. You're worth it. So I'm going to give you a couple of them. One, protect a 30 to 60-minute block per day with no meetings. If it sounds impossible, you can actually do it. Protect a 30 to 60-minute block per day with no meetings. Number two, set a tech off time each evening. So whatever your bedtime is, your tech downtime should not be a minute before you go to bed. Have a tech off time at least an hour before you go to sleep and write it down. What are you going to do? Set an alarm. Number three, take 2 full lunch breaks each week without multitasking. Some of you are thinking, well, I take a lunch break every day. Great, good for you. A lot of leaders don't. A lot of us work through lunch, if we even get a lunch, and we just keep on going. Take 2 full lunch breaks each week. It'll make a difference. Without multitasking is the key here. And then the last one, schedule 1 white space day in your month. No big meetings, just space to think. So whatever that is, 1 white space day in your month, 1 per month, you can do it just to think. And if you're pushing back, consider if that actually happened, how would you feel? What would be a difference in your perspective and in your life? I think you would see a change. So you're worth it. Do it. So this is some short term. Here's a couple long term for 3 to 6 months. Write down 1 value that you want to see more clearly lived out in your work. Just write down 1 value. And then how's that going to happen? What career direction feels energizing or not just realistic? So the first one is to write down a clear value you want to see. What does that look like and how's that going to play out? So journal on that a little bit. And then the second one, what career direction feels energizing, not just realistic? And so what I mean by that is maybe you're a manager and a director position is the next step, or your VP is the next step, or whatever. Well, that makes sense. But is that energizing, not just realistic? So you want it to be energizing. And so you want to think through that. Well, what does that mean? And what would that look like? Your plan doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real and actionable. A quick leadership insight for all of us. If you lead others, remember this. Your team watches how you care for yourself. They notice whether you protect your time, respect your energy, and lead with emotional honesty. Modeling healthy boundaries gives others permissions to do the same. We want to give others permission to model good behaviors and habits. Don't underestimate the ripple effect of a leader who leads well from within. Here's some closing thoughts. Burnout doesn't have to be inevitable. With awareness, empathy, and a solid plan, you can protect your energy and lead from a healthier, more sustainable place. Remember, burnout doesn't start overnight. Neither does resilience. This isn't about being perfect. It is about being intentional. You're the kind of leader who pours into others. This is the invitation I'm going to give you to pour back into yourself. Next time, we're going to dig into part 2 of this series, how to recover from burnout. What to do when you're already deep in burnout and need a way back. I believe it will be helpful. I'm excited to share it with you. Until then, keep questioning, keep growing, and keep leading change. I'm Jonathan Hankin, your change agent coach. I'll see you next time.